Every day that you're on set is a new day to learn something. Every time you're there, there's something new that you'll notice or something that you'll miss. And you think of something new that you can do. Good afternoon and welcome all whoever is right now connected with us, be it our YouTube channel or Spotify. I, Dhruv, your today's host, on behalf of Enactor Sri Aurobindo, is here to kickstart the second season of the podcast, entitled as BOL SAC. I duly extend my heartiest greetings to all. Sustainability is a political choice, not a technical one. It's not a question of whether we can be sustainable, but whether we choose to be. With this, I would like to introduce you all to our today's guest, Miss Prerna Prasad. Strong in her head, soft in her heart. One so different from the other, yet united in the pledge to protect nature. She is the founder and CEO at ECOPLORE, a platform of curated properties that offer a unique connection with nature. Surely a perfect blend of travel with sustainability. Her work has also been featured by the United Nations. Ma'am, you are truly a passionate and focused entrepreneur. Ma'am, let's begin with the very first question that comes to my mind after going through your profile. EcoPlore is a media platform which garners nature-aware audience. Why did you choose to kickstart your idea on a media platform? How has this decision brought you close to where you stand today?
Thank you for inviting me here and for giving me this opportunity to interact with all of you. First of all, a little correction I want to do. EcoPlore is not a media platform. It is a marketplace. It is a curated marketplace for sustainable hotels and properties. So we basically aggregate hotels which are made of local architecture, mud, wood, bamboo, stone, or they are heritage buildings, and they have at least 30% green coverage inside their campus. Plus, they follow a lot of other sustainable measures. Why did I choose to start this? Before this, I was a journalist for almost working in corporate media for almost 8 years. And I was also doing activism at the same time. So my learning experience of doing activism with the Anna Hazare movement and journalism, where I got exposure of interacting with different kind of audience and the society, I realized that environment is a subject on which hardly, like very few people at that point of time were working for. And even those who were working, they were either writing in journals or magazines, or they were doing protest, they were activists. So I realized that creating awareness is very important, but there has to be a product in the market. There has to be a demand and supply. Only then you can actually bring some change on the ground. So that's how the entire journey started.
We're really sorry for the error, ma'am. Thank you so much for answering this question. Moving on to the next one. Ma'am, as we're seeing right now that a lot of brands across the world are shifting towards making eco-friendly living. So what was the inspiration behind your startup?
The inspiration was the need to work for having a pure air and water, because we were working in the anti-corruption movement, fighting for a good system. So my learning was that if we have the best system, if we have all the luxuries, but we don't have air and water, which is pure and fresh, then having the other comforts make no sense. So I think that was the major inspiration behind starting something which dealt with sustainability. And of course, why tourism? Because I loved traveling and I wanted to do something where I enjoyed the work completely. So combining travel, tourism, and environment, I started sustainable tourism, basically.
That's really good, ma'am. Moving on to the next question. In the pandemic hit world, how did EcoPlore garner its audience since regular checks and hotels couldn't proceed smoothly?
So pandemic was a bad time financially for a lot of industries, and tourism was the most hit industry. There are two things actually. On one end, I was personally very happy that COVID is here, because for those 2 years, the planet got respite from the destruction which humans are doing. So it was in the interest of the environment. COVID was not in the interest of human beings, but it was in the interest of environment. So that was a positive factor, and I didn't feel like very bad that I'm losing customers, I'm losing money, I'm losing finances. We did get hit financially, but what we did that we utilized the entire period of time to prepare us better. So we worked on our websites, we worked on collaborations, we worked on finding more hotels. So we did the groundwork and we got that time to do it. And now we are like prepared, fully prepared to make to compensate the losses which we had financially. So, and people have started to travel. More and more people want to travel. So I think now it will be balanced.
Very right. Ma'am, as you've been a journalist in the past few years, according to you, what terms directly relate to sustainable development goals that can be identified in the taxonomic system of news?
So I could not understand your question exactly. You're referring to the terms which can relate to sustainable development goals.
Yes, ma'am.
But this is with regard to what we are doing, or this is with regard to in general.
In the taxonomic system of news right now we're talking about.
In the news, what is working
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
headlines.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So SDG has like different. It covers almost all aspects of the society, and I think currently climate change, global warming is one of the sustainability, whatever, sustainable lifestyle. These are like some terms which are in the headline and which are in news, and people are talking about it, they're getting aware about it. So all the SDGs which deal with environment protection or conservation is getting highlighted as of now. Of course, like there's at this point of time, there's war also happening in one part of the world. So over there, there are some SDGs which are related to the economic losses, the human losses. So that is again like one very important part, which is part of the news.
Thank you, ma'am, for clearing this out. Moving on to the next question. Ma'am, nowadays traveling is a major addition to the GDP of a country. So how would a platform like yours aid the idea?
So across the world, travel contributes to almost 10 to 12% of the entire GDP. In India, also, it is a major contributor, and travel is going to increase in the coming times. It is not going to reduce. So, how is ECOPLORE playing a role into it? Is that um, traveling is not any kind of traveling is not sustainable because you are emitting carbon, but people will not stop traveling. We cannot tell people that okay, you stop traveling because to make a better planet. We cannot do that. So the thing what we are trying to do is we are requesting people, we are making people aware, we are telling them that travel, but travel sustainably. Choose hotels which are eco-friendly. Take public transports. Choose trains instead of flights. The amount of carbon emission which is emitted in train travel and in flight travel is like the huge difference. At least 3 to 4 times of difference is there between flight and train. So there are a lot of other ways. Eat organic food, eat local food. Like there's no point in having a pizza or a burger when you are traveling to a remote village in Uttarakhand or maybe in Karnataka. So have the local cuisine of that area so that the local ingredients are used and the local economy is getting benefited out of it, and people are not forced to migrate to the cities. So there are many things which we are trying to do in with relation to the travel part. The most important part is that you do travel, but choose a travel which is also convenient for the environment, so that your future generation can see the same planet which we got to see.
Right, ma'am, we all should be adopting an environmental friendly way to travel. Also, ma'am, I I read it somewhere about you that you've personally visited over 100 hotels before including them in your platform, and you've always been so active when it comes to environment. So, have you ever felt eco anxiety, and what are your views about the same?
So I actually did a lot of ground research before starting the operations and doing the registration for the company. Almost 2 years of thorough ground research between 2017 to 2019, and we personally visit every hotel which we promote on our platform. So right now we have 160 hotels which are personally visited and verified. Although we have around 1,000 hotels which are shortlisted, but they're not visited. So out of these 160 hotels, almost 100 hotels I've personally been to. And the reason was that I wanted to have an understanding about what criteria should be met in a sustainable hotel. How can a hotel from in a desert and a hotel in a mountain can both be sustainable? So what common factors can be there? And what is genuine sustainability? What is greenwashing? So to understand all of this, I had to like personally visit the ground. Now that has reduced, and now a lot of other people are visiting, and even we do a lot of visits through the guests also. But every hotel is visited, and only then it is sold to the general people. So yeah, and you're talking about this anxiety. In between, yes, there are times that when you're on the ground and you see amazing things happening in the properties, and because these are all run by passionate individuals, they're not hotel chains. So when you see that, I mean, you return with so much of enthusiasm and you want to do all of it, but practically that's not possible. And yes, one anxiety I always have. I live in Delhi. I really don't like this place. I want to live in a forest with like complete natural surrounding, and with no crowd and no pollution and no honking cars and no city environment. So that is one thing which is one of my dreams, and I will fulfill that soon. Apart from that, yes, anxiety does happen, but one has to balance and also be a little practical about where they are.
Very well, ma'am. Very right. We totally understand this. Ma'am, we had another question. Over the last decade, traveling industry has boomed, and it is not just for the leisure, but has become a profession too. So, what do you think? How can we, as young individuals, contribute towards the sustainability?
So that is why that was the reason why I started EcoPlore, because actually I was planning a holiday to Malaysia and I was looking for sustainable hotels. I couldn't find it on one platform. So when you have, like, suppose today you want to look for homestays, Airbnb is the place where you find some good homestays and you can look over there. So similarly, I mean, there was no platform where I could find a list of eco hotels and analyze them, see them, and then book them. So I had to go through so much of like individual websites. And there was no guarantee. Like just by looking at the individual website, there's no guarantee that it will be genuinely sustainable or is it a greenwashing thing. So that is the reason we created a platform where there's a list of hotels. So, for example, if you want to visit Jaipur, so you will find a hotel in Jaipur which is sustainable. And in our case, what we are doing is that we are finding the best property in every location which is sustainable. So we don't have like, suppose any location in India right now, you name any tourist location, for example, Pushkar, it will have at least 50 to 100 hotels in general. But on our website, you may find just one, and that one is the best of all the hotels in Pushkar. Not just from sustainability perspective, but even general amenity wise, the facility wise, location wise. So I mean, you can find the hotel on our website and book them for now till there are not many such aggregators or other platforms.
After talking to you, I definitely feel like there's no shortage of remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them, and the best way to predict future is to create it. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again for your worthy time. I am sure that our audience will definitely incorporate your piece of valuable ideas. We hope to hear from you in the near future as well. That was it for today's episode of BOL SAC. Reach out to us with any questions, suggestions, and recommendations. Our podcast is telecasted on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and our very own YouTube channel in Active Sri Aurobindo College. You can reach out to us on our official social media handles. See you all again next week. Signing off, your host for today, Dhruv.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was an amazing session with you.